Welcome to the Atheist Roundtable. It's the TART live show. I'm your
What's up?
host, Oz, and my co-host tonight, just Jeff the Troll.
Yeah, and my co-host tonight, Oz.
Troll.
How's it going?
You're
my
co-host. Well, then we're each other's co-host.
Yeah.
Okay. Good power play. Go ahead. How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Dealing with some stuff in the house, but overall pretty good. We do have some stuff though that we need to talk about.
What
like the website.
We can talk about
the roundtable schedule. You can see our upcoming shows. Here we are at 10:10, and we also have a show tomorrow and later on this week. Counter apologetics. Oz, what is this? I've been meaning to ask you. What is the YFNA? Explain that to me.
That's Ethan. I'll be on with Ethan. We're talking about ADD, ADHD, that part of mental health.
Okay. All right.
That'll have more detail in there tomorrow.
Okay, I'm just checking. Keeping you in check.
I got you.
You can go to the shop at tart.live/shop and look at this really cool wristband and an extremely uncomfortably close detailed shot of someone's arm. I'm assuming that's Oz's arm. Look at all the little hairs. It's kind of gross. But anyway, your What, How, Why bracelet can be obtained for just $5. Oh, they're back ordered right now, but that's because they're very popular. Secondly, you can support us. Let's talk about the link tree. On the link tree, you can find every single link related to our show. So that's the Facebook page, it's the official website, the YouTube channel, the Patreon, the Discord, the Twitter. By the way, get in the Discord. Had some really good debates. We've cleaned up a little bit. We have a lot more members now, and we're trending towards having one of the largest servers for that type of discussions. Very unique. Very unique. So that's a little bit about what we have going on the TART side. But getting into our show today, is there any other announcements, Oz, that we need to get into?
Well, you went through the calendar, but there's one there. Do you remember who was on tomorrow night?
10-11, Objectively Dan.
Yeah. So we're going to an awesome show. Tonight's going to be a blast. And everybody's going to love our guests that we have on, and we're going to work the humor side tonight. But tomorrow will be fun. Objectively Dan from Truth Wanted will be coming back on. It'll be the second time here with TART, but that'll be awesome. And then for TikTok usernames at Counter Apologetics, he does a great job on TikTok. Yeah. I am super excited to have him on Monday night. But what else? Anything else you need to talk about?
No, I mean, did you? I saw your new certificate for most consecutive months without a haircut. It's pretty cool. I see you got 2 of them back there, so you must have got it several times. Any of those certificates prove a God?
Well, first of all,
and we have my certificate, which is a certificate of congressional recognition for my hard work, my hard volunteer work. And this is a real certificate. I don't know where Oz prints his, but this is an actual seal from a member of Congress and a certificate of congressional recognition. Now, I have blacked my name out for obvious reasons, but just wanted to point that out. Certificates, very important.
No, we have a very, very exciting guest with us tonight, and we are going to have a blast. We have some really fun things planned for the evening. So without further ado, Trent Skids the Clown, welcome to the Atheist Roundtable. It's great to have you. Oh,
hey, how's it going, everyone?
How are you, man?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling like I'm at a disadvantage now because I'm looking behind me and I do not have any certificates. I didn't know that was a prerequisite to get on the show. So, maybe next time I'll work on that.
Well, and Trent, all you have to do is just like Jeff did, just go to your local Walmart or Meijer, Best Buy, whatever, buy a printer, and print out a certificate and put it behind you. That's all you need.
Printers are out of stock everywhere.
Do I have to use like the electrical tape to cover my name, stuff like that, just to make it official? Is that what the thing is?
Well, no, he did that because it's not actually his name on there.
Oh, see, it makes so much sense now.
Yeah, I printed it with someone else's name on it. That makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
It's because of loving
you black it out.
I have to be careful with all the loving theists out there that watch my content and leave such wonderful love messages for me.
Well, anyway, Trent, I hope you enjoy clowning around because you joined a show tonight with a bunch of clowns, and we're just going to do a bunch of clowning around. How does that sound?
That sounds perfect to me. The only thing is that once in a while I'll actually put makeup on my face and do it legitimately. So,
no, and I want real quick that part of who you are and what you do, Trent. If you could share real quick, Trent actually does clown performances, but does a lot of things for children's hospitals and beneficial events and things like that as a clown, and goes and entertains and that kind of thing, which I think is awesome, bringing humor and laughter into people's lives. So, take a minute or two, Trent, and share with the listeners, the viewers, what it is you do.
Absolutely. So I started about 15 to 16 years ago with clowning, and it's not something I really ever intended to do. Didn't grow up saying, hey, I want to be a clown. Naturally, I had a little bit of a sense of humor. So just kind of found myself in a situation where I decided to give it a try. And I'm part of a charitable organization that actually does charity for kids in need. They offer medical care for kids that might not necessarily be able to afford it, or just in a situation where not all the insurance is going to cover everything. So that's kind of how I started doing it. And I've been performing in circuses for about 15 years. I travel around the country, and I actually do like clown competitions where it's, imagine kind of like a dog show where they line all the clowns up and they come out there and you get all fluffed up and everything like that, and they pick which one of you is best looking clown and the funniest clown. And I've got a few trophies, not quite a certificate, but I've done well. I've got a few best clown in show awards on that. But aside from all that, one of the main things that we do is we actually, when we are requested to go up to a hospital to visit a kid who's in a situation where they just need cheered up, especially if they just got, a bad diagnosis or they're just not feeling well, we're usually there to step up and visit the kid, just bring a little bit of humor into their life, which would otherwise be a very poor situation.
Right. And as I shared with you before we went live, I noticed some of the things that I found, what you and the people you're working with were doing was going to children's hospitals and helping that. And being a father, myself, if I ever, any of my children or stepchildren were in that spot, I would hope, Trent, there would be someone like you to try to bring a lighter, quote unquote, spirit, to it, but some joy, some laughter, some inspiration.
It goes a long way.
Yeah, to kind of break up that, the monotony of the down feelings, so much appreciated, man. We appreciate that as a community, and every person has a part to play. And I think it's amazing that in those moments you're bringing laughter and smiles to those kids' faces and the families' faces. So kudos to you, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And before we get into any other conversations, Trent, you and I talked via email quite a few times before coming on the show, and you really have a unique experience as far as church and religion is concerned, because you grew up, kind of around it / in it, but never really bought into it, never really believed in it. So there's not this what we'd call a deconversion experience or process. But you were very much informed, like you were around the church and those kind of things. So I don't want to tell the whole story. Tell our listeners, our viewers, about your story, growing up and how you ended up where you're at today.
It's one of those things that, when I grew up, like you said, I just never really believed it. And, I had family members and everybody in our neighborhood seemed very religious. So, definitely was informed. I actually felt growing up like there was something really wrong with me, just because it didn't ever really seem like it was plausible. And it's not like it's like, it's all hooey, I don't want to believe it. In a way, I felt like, I should. And, there must be something I'm just not clicking with, because everybody seems to think this is the norm. And I just wasn't getting it. And I will say I never really tried, never dove headfirst and really wanted to say, hey, I'm really going to buckle down on this and I'm going to learn all this stuff and I'm just going to give my heart into it and eventually I'm going to believe. There wasn't a desire, but I always will say that I just felt like the odd man out growing up. And not because of necessarily my family or anything like that, just because all my friends went to church every Sunday and they talked about how much they loved it. And, just never did that myself. I actually remember as a younger kid in grade school, my mom and dad sent me to during the summer, that one of the local churches had kind of like a summer school thing. And it wasn't like overly, trying to indoctrinate anybody like that. It was just kind of more of a community church thing, reaching out and having a program, and we went swimming and stuff like that. But there was a little bit of, Bible lessons, a little bit of, just trying to get you just familiar with all the concepts of religion. And even that it's like, yeah, whatever. When are we going swimming? It just never was there for me.
Right. So the one you, and I want to make sure I stay on the proper timeline here. So you had those things growing up in somewhere in there, and I'll introduce this, and you tell the bigger story. It is growing up like that, and I believe you had a significant other that was religious, and you were around that. And kind of got introduced to, I believe you said, an evangelical type of movement. What did that look like, sound like to you?
It wasn't really too convincing for me. I mean, my wife, and we've been married for, trying to remember, it's like 27 years now. So it was just more that her family was very, very religious, evangelical. And there was definitely a pressure for me to definitely go to church. And when we had kids, the kids were going to be baptized in that. And we have one daughter, and when she was born, we did baptize her, but that was about the only time she's ever stepped foot in a church. And of course, she doesn't even remember it. My wife anymore, she's not as much into the Christianity. She's kind of stepped back and is definitely considers herself more spiritual anymore than religious. And she'll make the big distinction between religion and spirituality. Mm-hmm. And, I'm okay with that. And it's one of those things that for years, I said, okay, I just don't believe, but I'm never going to say a word about it. And just keep my mouth shut. Just if everybody says everything, just kind of nod and smile, and that'll get me through it. And, I'm getting close to 50 years old now, and gets to a point where you're just done nodding. And just need to say, you know what, I just don't believe. And I also believe a lot of the things that you think are just wrong. And now whether I'll actually ever say it to her family, that's another thing.
I think one of the things that I had a similar experience that you did when it came to growing up and seeing stuff happening around you. And that's, at least in my experience with a organized religion, is personal opinion is not warranted. Like, you having a personal opinion about something that's outside of what the church thinks or what the other people think inside of that church is where they start trying to ring you back in. It's like, oh, why are you thinking that way? Or why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Or, and that's, and in reality, you're just being genuine when you say, I don't believe this, or, and it's like they're trying to suppress your ability to just be genuine about who you are. And I think I took that to heart a little too much. And it wasn't until my mid-20s that I really felt that I had confidence in who I was myself, and I wasn't playing anymore. Like I wasn't going to put up the charade anymore.
Yeah. And I mean, the idea isn't just in religion. It goes on, politics and everything like that. They want you to agree with everything they say. And then, if you think differently, it becomes an argument.
And I remember, so I was at a church retreat in Florida in the mid 2005, 2006, somewhere around there. And it was a Catholic retreat on the beach with teenagers. And you can imagine how focused we were. Anyway, there's a part of Catholic tradition, which is adoration. And in adoration, they take a piece of host, which is allegedly Jesus, and they take it around on a cross, and you're in a big room and they take it around, and it's supposed to be like a time for reflection and presence with Jesus. And I can remember people having reactions. Some people, uncontrollable laughter, to people crying, just weird stuff going on. And I'm sitting there genuinely trying to have the same experience that they are, and it not working. And me thinking like something's not right. Like, what's wrong with me? Why am I not having these experiences? Why is this not landing for me?
Yes. Yeah, they talk about that moment of having the elation. And the nice thing is that I've felt elated about a lot of different things when it comes to, watching a movie or hearing music. I can have that same elated feeling that they talk about at having a church when they actually feel, the spirit. And that's one of the things for me. It's like, I can have that feeling without religion. It's not the religion, it's your attachment to something.
I had more of an emotional reaction to Iron Man at the end of the Avengers series than I did ever in church. I had a more emotional reaction and attachment to Tony Stark, a fictional character. So guess what? You can be emotionally attached to a fictional character and have, emotions about it. I
don't discredit anybody saying they have that emotional reaction.
Sure.
I just say it's not what you think it is.
Right. Yeah. And and I hate that they do this mainly. And I know you know this, Oz, too, from your church days. Teenagers are the lifeblood of a church. Absolutely. If you have a very good youth program, then you can feed more dollars into your church, because when they convert to adults, you keep them around. You're going to lose a lot of the population in the transition as they grow up. They decide that church is bullshit or whatever, and they move away from it. But if you have a good youth program and you can retain 40% of them when they turn to adults, then you're going to have a successful church.
Exactly.
Financially.
All right.
That's why youth programs are so prominent. And that's why, they spend so much time on the youth. They're also the most vulnerable.
Yep.
And Trent, I have a really, really serious question. And I hope you're ready for this.
I'll see what I can do.
What are your thoughts on talking snakes?
Well, I've never seen one. I see lots of snakes outside. I've tried to have a conversation with them, and they just kind of slither away. And so, maybe I'm not trying hard enough. Maybe, I need to learn the language. I just can't seem to get that communication that it's described in like the Bible per se. Or, Aesop's Fables talks about talking animals all the time too. Maybe we just have to go back to those ways where we're getting close with the animals to talk to them.
That's interesting.
Did the snake have legs before the fall of man?
Well, apparently, from what I understand, and I'm not the most educated person, there were definitely legs because they called it the serpent.
Yeah, but does that mean it was a centipede?
It could have been. It never counts the number of legs.
And why is the snake being punished? If Satan took the form of a snake, why is the snake now punished for this?
Who said it was?
I don't understand.
Whoever said it was Satan.
Well, I'm just saying, why, like in the biblical story, why is the snake being punished?
I've always read it. If you just read that chapter by itself, then it literally is a story about a snake, no different than any other fable from the time. And it explains why women are scared of snakes. That's all.
I'm scared of snakes.
Snakes are nice.
So then the next question then for Trent is, Trent, tell me what you know about bushes that spontaneously combust and talk to you. What do you know? But
they're not actually burning.
Well, how much gasoline is involved? I mean, do you have to pre-soak it or anything like that? Because that's, spontaneously, I'm not lighting it, but it could be a really hot day. It's dry out and everything like that. So we get a little kindling going, but it's never talked to me. You get a few beers in you before, a lot of things will talk to you at that point. But I've never experienced it myself yet. Again, I'm probably not trying hard enough.
So you're experienced as a professional clown. And I would imagine as an entertainer, you also know some magicians or have had experience with magicians.
I have.
Do you think that there are magic shows that they could do today that if they were done 2,000 years ago, a religion would have been started?
You can do anything with magic as long as you have enough money to spend on buying the trick. That's all it comes down to.
I guarantee if what's his name? David Copperfield went back in time to year -2000 and started doing some tricks, they would think he's a god.
Well, I move my hands when I talk too much, so it's not going to happen right now. The light of the room I'm in right now actually has a timer that shuts off if nothing moves in here. And all I got to do is put my hand up, and that light will come on. Right there, I've got just as much magical power than anybody in the Bible.
Hey, Oz, where'd you get that cup?
TART.live.
Wow. Amazing. Tumblers available now.
And here, I just want to jump in and let everybody know that if you look at the bottom of the chat, guess what is now enabled during a TART live show? Super chats. Go do the super chats. So start asking your questions. Get your questions ready because it'll pin them and it'll put a banner up top, and you're going to help support our channel. So do it.
If they pay Oz, if they pay $5 and they put in the chat mute Oz, does that mean that they can mute you for a minute?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. I'll give them a minute.
This is pretty high tech. I feel overwhelmed.
So the other thing I want to do, I know we're going to pull up a little special here in a minute with some questions from a atheist. We'll do that in a second, but we're about 25 minutes in, so we have a little time here, and this is something we talked about backstage. And for some people, it's a touchy subject, but for most atheists, it's not, because there is no context which you can convince us that these things is acceptable whatsoever. no matter what time period you lived in, what your social construct was, what any of that. It doesn't matter. That would be slavery. So, gentlemen, we talked about, like I said, talked about it before show. I think we share the same premise on that. But we'll start with our guest, Trent. When you hear Christians defending slavery, especially in accordance to the Bible, how do you feel about that? Is there an argument that you have for that? What is it?
Yeah, usually this is something that it gets me involved. It seems that kind of when I joined this community, that was the first thing I came across. And it's like, I can't believe this person's actually defending this. And I generally will go through, because one of the things I most commonly hear is that, well, it's not slavery like what we think slavery is. It's servitude. And these people were very poor. What else can they do to get out of their situation? And the one thing I always say is, can you tell me at any point, is it moral to own another human being? Let's take away whatever you call it. You can dress it up as you want, servitude, slavery, give it whatever name you want. Talk about beating a person, not beating a person. And of course, the Bible does talk about beating your slaves. But just boil it down. Is it ever a moral action to own another human being as property? And right there, you would think the conversation would be over.
It's not.
It's not. No, absolutely not.
No, it's not. And real quick, our first one on a live, regular TART live feed, Grumpy Old Cuss, he is the OG of our mods, dropped our first super chat. Thank you, sir. And the super chats are available, guys. So hit it up and tell. Make sure you tell Jeff in your super chat that you're super disappointed that he didn't have hair gel in his hair tonight. Make sure you point that out.
This is my natural hair.
But, we don't like your natural hair. We like the gel.
I don't use a gel. I use a pomade.
There you go. Good man. Good man.
Whatever, Jeff.
Hey,
Whatever.
So Oz, let me ask you a question.
Ask.
Sodom and Gomorrah. What were they being punished for?
Looking back?
No. Why were the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah destroyed?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was sorry. Wrong part of that story. It really came down to sexual sins.
Okay. So we are aware now God will punish people and take away their free will if they're committing sexual sins.
According to that story, absolutely.
So,
Yep.
So when people say something like, well, slavery was necessary in order for the advancement of society, and God only allowed it because he gave us free will.
Bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. He interferes with free will all the time. And he could have easily, I don't know, dropped bombs on the people that were holding slaves and said, don't have slaves anymore. Just like he interfered in Sodom and Gomorrah. I don't understand the logic there.
And here's where I get Trent, I would love to get your feedback on this. This is where I get frustrated because I'm just a basic thinker. I'm not a philosopher. I'm not a scientist. I'm just an average guy. I'm a high school dropout. I just read the dictionary. I take things for what they are. Like I don't need all the salad. I don't need the word salads. I don't need all the twisting of manipulation of definitions. What the Bible lays out is not free will, because free will by definition means that you can make a choice without the influence of an outside agent, right? That you don't. There is no influence from an outside agent. So what we end up with actually is an ultimatum, where it's you do this, and if you don't do this, it's or else. Right. So it's not free will. It would be a true ultimatum. So I would love to hear your opinion on that, because that's one of the things that frustrates me in that conversation.
I totally agree with you, because the thing is that you have free will according to the Bible, and you'll hear theists say this all the time, is that like if you have free will to either follow God or not follow God. But if you don't follow God, you made that choice, hence you get condemned to eternal punishment. So you actually didn't have free will, because what they like to say is that, well, you're sending yourself because you made that decision. But that was your decision. You had free will, and you're being punished for it. I don't see where there's a lot of examples where free will in the Bible did not result in the Bible telling the reader that they will be punished for having that free will. You go back to Genesis. The whole point was that they literally put a tree that had the fruits of knowledge there, and in front of two people who would essentially be considered toddlers, that they were innocent, so they did not know the difference between good and evil, basically had the free will to whether they were going to consume that apple or not. They did, and they were punished for it. And that's the continual theme, is that you have free will. If you use it, you will be punished.
Well, and even in the even when we go down to Adam and Eve, and I feel like if there was anybody that got a dirty dog used car salesman sales job, it was Adam and Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were told, you can do it whatever you want in this garden. You can do whatever you want. Just don't fuck with that one, right? And why? Because it's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Guess what? Here's an announcement, folks. It might be the first time you've ever heard this. At that point, they didn't know what good and evil were. They didn't know the difference between good and evil. They hadn't been educated on what good and evil was. They came in only knowing good or perfection according to the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know what evil was. They didn't know evil was a bad thing. They didn't know evil was a sin. They didn't know that this was going to cause a separation from God and humanity for eternity. They didn't know those things. So if that was not the ultimate con job by a creator God, then I don't know what was.
And it wasn't like they just walked up and ate the fruit themselves. They were convinced by somebody else in the garden. So if Eve was tempted by the serpent, but she didn't know the difference between good and evil, if you put it in that perspective, you have a person telling you, no, it's okay if you do eat this. And how is that something that basically becomes what we consider, the original sin, and then you start this big spiral that becomes the entire Bible that winds up in a blood sacrifice to basically go back and reverse that one decision. How does that make sense?
Yeah, it does not, and that's why I would say that is that first, the first chapter of the book is the ultimate con job.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's I have all of this glorious gardens and waters and animals, but there's this one thing you can't partake of, and I'm not really going to tell you why not to do it.
They can't know.
They
can't know. They don't have the knowledge of good and evil.
Yeah, if they were told, they wouldn't understand it.
They wouldn't understand it.
And that's
the tree in the garden.
That's what I'm saying. So for like with my kids, I don't just tell them don't do that, and then okay, cool, Dad, we won't do it. But why do we not do that? Like I educate them on why we don't do certain things, right? To help guide them and help give them wisdom and knowledge and do it to be the best dad I can be, right? I don't just say do it because I don't do it because I said don't do it. That's not knowledge. That's not helping them. So it was just don't eat from this tree or else. And then the next lie, according to the scripture, is if you do happen to partake of this fruit, you will that day you will surely die.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? Those sons of bitches live for hundreds of years.
Yes.
and let's not forget that God couldn't find them. All of a sudden, this omnipotent God lost them in his garden.
Yeah, and is asking,
That's
where
also part
are
of the
you?
story. How's he not know where they went?
Adam, Eve, where are you at? And all of a sudden they pop up. They're naked. It was like, oh, my shit's out. No, it's there's so many of those stories. I know we started with slavery and went back to humor, which I actually appreciate that we were able to spin it into that. But there's so many. Like was it a night or two ago? I was having a conversation with somebody, and we were talking about Song of Solomon or Song of Songs, and that's Bible porn. It's Bible porn.
Yes.
It's, I'm going to move up her tree and grab her melons, and I'm going to reach in her peaches. And, it's like all this stuff. It's like, it's Bible porn. That's all it is.
There's a lot that is contained within the book. And, there is some that is artistic and poetic. And there's some of it which is literally a document of counting how many people and how many trees were on a battlefield. And then there are stories that were, verbal stories that were written down, just myths and stuff like that. And you collect all that stuff, and there might be some things that are true about the Bible that does not make everything, true. It just, it's just got a little bit of seasoning of truth in there.
Yep. And you go through that, and then even the ones now where because a lot of Christians, not all, a lot of Christians love to throw the Old Testament out.
Yep.
And say, oh no, that was the old God. That was the old God.
Doesn't count.
And, Jesus came to do away with all that, but actually that's not what he said. He said, I came. I didn't come to demolish or do away with the law. I came to fulfill it. So you're already off on the wrong foot, because Jesus, if he was a real guy, already said it. I didn't come to do away with it. I just came to fulfill it.
Right.
But even in the New Testament, we have major contradictions on this Jesus character. So he claims to be the Prince of Peace, right? The Savior of the world, but then also tells you that if you were to follow him and love him, you should hate your mother, hate your father, hate your siblings, and leave them to follow him.
And don't forget about the part that Christians don't like. Sell all your possessions and give the money to the poor.
Yeah.
Then come follow me.
Yeah. Then do it.
See.
Then do it.
Yeah, Christianity at that time was no different than the apocalyptical churches of today, because it was really meant that the end times was going to happen within Jesus's lifetime.
Yes.
Or the lifetimes of the disciples, which didn't happen. So, we're now roughly about 2,000 years since all this happened, and it still hasn't happened. And there's got to be a point where it's like, okay, it's not going to happen. You have to admit it, that what you're assuming was going to happen just is not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
Yeah. Whether you consider there's a historical Jesus, or if it was more of just a kind of a made up story, or if there was a very influential rabbi of the time who the stories are based off of, you could pick and choose what you want, but no matter how you look at it, the prophecy that they claim that was made in the Bible was not fulfilled, and at this point just doesn't seem like it's possible to be fulfilled.
Oh, my bad. Oh, Samuel, do nothing. Do little. Do little.
That's me, just a little bit.
And if y'all don't know, Samuel Doolittle be dropping them bars though. Dropping them bars.
That was nothing. It's been years. I just randomly decided to do some random shit.
But dropping them bars though.
Oh shoot, Oz drops bars too. Get on TikTok and watch him rap.
I don't even know. I don't even know nothing about nothing.
That's not what your certificate said.
Oh, shut up, Jeff.
Oh, you got a rapper certificate? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
It says
Second
drop.
best rapper of
It
the regional county, the tri-state area.
No, actually,
And he
what it
sold the
says
most Subarus last month.
actually what it says is Jeff calls Oz daddy. That's what it says.
That's weird for you, not me.
That's weird for both of y'all.
CEO of Mute Oz. So I'm glad you started an organization. But before we do that, Samuel, how have you been, man? It's been a couple days since you've been live with us. How you been?
I'm good, man. I've been learning a lot. You know what I'm saying? Changing the way I think, changing the way I view a lot of things. As a matter of fact, so yeah.
Nope. And I watch your TikToks and even your comments, your posts, and I'll just say is, somebody's one of our mods, active mods, and commenters, everything on our channel. I'm fucking proud of you, man. I think it's awesome what you're doing and the information you are taking in and absorbing, and it's badass, man.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. I mean, a lot of it comes from y'all and people like y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really a creator. You guys are creating stuff. I just do something every once in a while, and when I'm feeling cocky or whatever. Blind eyes, damn.
Damn, like I'm about to just be blind, mute, and deaf here by the end of this shit.
But we can hear
It's
you.
gonna be Oz Keller. Helen's brother. What's that?
Got to answer that question. That's now the top super chat dollar amount. $10. $10. Choice for clown
$10?
gig. Skeptical high school teens or Kim Jong-un.
Huh.
I'm going to defer this question.
I don't know if you can defer it.
I defer.
It's deferred to Skids the Clown. That's who it's deferred to.
Yeah,
That's easy for me because the skeptical teens, I at least can entertain myself, so that's all that matters. So that would definitely be my choice.
Have you seen the guy on TikTok though that does the parodies of Kim Jong Un?
I don't know if I have.
So he looks very good. He looks the part, and he carries with him a big red button. And he'll review people's videos and react to them. And if it's a good video, he'll clap. And if it's a bad video, he hits the button.
Apparently, my TikTok is on a different measure than yours is because I have not seen anything close to that.
Well,
I apparently am browsing the wrong cat videos.
Well,
I definitely get all the Christian videos.
Jeff brings out the bottom of the sewer in his trolling abilities.
They love me,
and they love it. He does. He brings out the worst.
I definitely get that sense.
Absolutely.
Well, I also love the people that are they're smart enough to know that I'm a troll, but dumb enough to realize that I'm using an oxymoron or some ad absurdum argument to make them look dumb, and they feed right into it.
I love the murder shed.
That's the wrong your murder shed.
I was just going to say, I love that he tried to point out you're dumb and doesn't know how to spell. That's awesome.
But did he do it on
Get it off the screen.
But you know what? Murder
Do we
Shed,
have that video?
He found out. Murder Shed found out that there was actually a
success.
Hey,
sorry I disappeared for a while, but I am back with questions I have for atheists. Were you always an atheist, or did you used to follow a religion? Do you still celebrate any of the holidays, like Christmas? Why did you stop following a religion? Do you think there is any chance of a possibility that there is a God? Are you still spiritual? Do you hate religion, or do you think it's good, just it isn't for you?
All right then, guys, we're going to go around the room, and I'm going to start with Sammy Doolittle's because he's been trolling me in the chat for some time.
Make sure you
we're going to start with the tough questions. Sammy, you ready for this one?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Were you always an atheist, Sam?
No, not always.
That's right. You weren't. That's
I was
right,
born
you
that
did
way,
believe it.
and then I wasn't one, and
Mhm.
now I think I might be.
What flavor of Christian were you?
Oh man, Rocky Road, I guess. No, it was
Is that a variant of the Damascus Road? Is that like a spinoff? Only with like nuts and marshmallows in it. Without Paul's not in that flavor. Anyway, so let's see. So you weren't. So you weren't always an atheist. Anyone here always an atheist besides me? Anyone?
Just me.
Skidsy, my man. Yeah. We're the coolest. So we're kind of like the coolest ones, right? You and I.
I always think that.
Let's go ahead and take everyone else off here. Let's go ahead and just drop. Yeah. So anyway, Skid, so I was saying, right, we're the coolest guys. The rest of the team used to believe in all that nonsense. Should we just ridicule them for a little bit?
We can, it's not necessarily their fault. I don't want to make them feel real bad about themselves, but at the same time, I would feel better about myself. So
it is. It's kind of like a boost of serotonin when you're like, you used to believe in that nonsense that Austin was so powerfully going into rhetoric earlier about, but he forgets he believed in it. That's the funny thing. Look at him drinking that Jesus juice right now. Look at him.
Oh, where'd he go? Where'd he go?
Oh, well.
All that shit talking.
Oh, there he is.
That's it. That's it. I'm changing the credit card on the super chat to Mike. He is screwed. He is done for.
So what's the next question?
All right, let's bring it up here, Jeff. Good job, Jeff. See, that's why Jeff's my favorite. All right. This is for Skids, my main homie, because we're them lifelongers. Hey, did you or do you celebrate holidays still?
Absolutely. I don't get as enthusiastic about Easter or Thanksgiving as maybe when I was a kid. I used to love Easter as a kid.
Candy.
Yeah, candy, bunnies, baskets. Just don't get enthusiastic about it. But I love me some Christmas. And just, go all out on it. Trees, lights, and everything like that. Completely secular.
Yeah.
Not a one in my house.
Now, where in the Bible, Sam, did you read of the Easter Bunny, though, if you do celebrate Easter?
Oh, it's in the children's Bible. It's the one with like Bible Man and all the superheroes and stuff.
I got
Bible Man.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys celebrate Valentine's Day and birthdays and things? Do those coincide, or Father's Day?
No,
like
none of that.
Like a birthday on. Okay, we celebrated all that.
No, that's tools of the devil. Tools of the devil.
For real,
holidays are all tools of the devil.
That's how you were raised, for real?
No, but I'm just saying.
Oh, damn, man. So I always. Oh, I have a question. I have a question though, for either Pasta or I'm sorry, was it Skid the Clown?
Skids. Yep.
Okay. So I used to work when I was still a Christian. I used to work for a guy that's an atheist, and he was decorating the office for Halloween, and for Christmas. I'm sorry, for Christmas, and I was like, "Hey, aren't you atheist?" Yeah, very similar. I said, "Aren't you atheist?" And he's like, "Yeah, but I still celebrate Christmas." He got a little upset. So I have a question for you guys, since you've always been atheist. If after someone finds out you're an atheist and they ask you if you still celebrate holidays or why you do you get a little offended or anything?
Don't get offended.
I do.
I'm going to drop that motherfucker right there.
I just remind them that it's a pagan holiday and that Yuletide has absolutely nothing to do with the birth of Jesus Christ, and Jesus wasn't born in December.
Right. That's right where I was going with that.
And then I start talking about Saturnalia, and then their mind just melts.
Yeah.
See, I started talking about magic mushrooms, and then their mind explodes.
Well, you've all got it confused anyway, because what does Jesus have to do with Santa Claus? So
nothing.
Right.
What does Jesus have to do with any of the story, really?
Yeah.
That's the Amanita muscaria. That's them.
What does Easter have to do with a fucking bunny?
And besides, when I celebrate Christmas, I'm not going to church. I'm putting a Christmas tree up, nothing to do with Jesus. I'm decorating a tree and putting lights up, nothing to do with Jesus. I'm drinking alcohol, nothing to do with Jesus.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Oz.
money.
Hold on,
That's what
Oz,
it's all
Oz.
about.
Rewind,
yeah.
Oz. It's all about a bunny. What do you mean? What's good to do? What else is it about?
That watch though.
It's not about slavery because I know that's wrong.
Yes.
Anyway, I digress.
Easter again has nothing to do with the Easter bunny. It's has to do with another pagan holiday and Easter and
Don't you blaspheme, Jeff. Jeff,
springtime, and it's about
it's all about the goddamn bunny. Stop it. Don't you blaspheme.
Isn't it
it's
funny
about
that
sex. It's
If
all
it's-
about sex.
if it's about the resurrection, wouldn't you think they would know the exact day? Why does it move around in accordance to a full moon?
Chocolate eggs, Easter bunny, gardens, hiding eggs, Christmas, Jesus, he died. That's what it's about. Anyway,
And as a Catholic, former Catholic, I hated Easter because Easter Mass is when every Catholic comes out of the woodwork, and now you're using the freaking rec center. If you got in the good Mass with the AC, you were doing good, but if you got to the late Mass or the other Mass, you're down in the rec center on the basketball court, the annex,
in the
folding
steel
chairs.
but anyway, what do you know about the band, the tremendous rock band Journey? I'm sorry. Why did you stop believing?
Well, the answer for the two is actually the same. Journey sucks. No, I'm kidding. I love Journey.
Oh, you take that.
No, I love Journey. Okay, so why did I stop believing? I mean, it was a slow fade. If you know that song, when
I
you
love
give
that.
yourself away, it's a
Love
slow
that song.
fade.
Yeah.
So anyway, you start doubting. I doubted stuff for a long time, and then
Hit that
started
falsetto.
reading in. It's a slow fade. No. I just slowly started questioning things, and I got to the point where I couldn't stop thinking about it. And at the end of that, I started actually watching the Atheist Roundtable and a lot of other
Damn.
atheist content.
Sweet plug, dude. Sweet plug.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, that's when I made the hard turn.
Man,
is when I
that's
started
all-
watching
that's-
you guys.
That is
I'll tell
actually
you what did it for me.
Can ham.
Chocolate.
Boom.
Oh,
Oh,
Yes, sir.
Seth Andrews,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Day Converted.
Deconverted
Oh,
by Seth Andrews was the first book I read as an admitted atheist.
talking about slow fades. Look at the back of Austin's neck. Damn it. Oh, here we go. Deconverted.
okay.
Yeah.
He
I
had
thought
to
it
mess
was something
with his
about
book pile
Delaware or
with
something.
that.
My bad.
Yeah. Anybody that is on the fence about atheism or on the fence about why somebody would have a deconversion or how somebody would question their belief, I think Seth Andrews' book is a fantastic story for a theist or atheist to read, or someone who's on the fence about one person's journey, and it's something to reflect on. I think he's got a pretty good perspective on his deconversion story, and it mirrors a lot of mine. So it's a good read.
Notice
And
Austin.
it's short. It's not huge.
Notice
Easy
Austin.
read.
Notice Austin's doesn't have any creases in it because he listens to his.
I listened to mine.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyway.
I know reading is hard.
It
Reading
is.
is hard.
Yeah.
I just smell my books. I don't read them.
I do love to smell books.
Jeff dances on books. Like I got it on video.
This book here smells like hate.
He got that slow fade. Look at that slow fade, y'all. You got that deep fade. Oh, hold on. Goodbye, Jesus.
Hey, speaking of books, did y'all see Jesus Unfollower's latest post? He went and bought The Blind Clockmaker, and there was a Christian tract inside of it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, guys, go check out Jesus Unfollow. That's Kevin. Great dude. And also, shout out to Axioms on Trial, J. Mike. There's a video we just posted for those guys. Go follow that channel as well. Great set of dudes.
Yeah, and J. Mike, this is for you. You and I are teaming up on this TikTok thing against slavery. I didn't think we'd have to do this in 2020, but ownership of another person is not okay under any circumstances. It's an easy sentence and everyone should say it.
Yeah.
And J. Mike has some good videos about it, and he saved me with some response videos. So I want to say thank you, J. Mike.
Yep. Yeah. He just did. He just texted me and said thank Jeff for that.
He just texted me and said that he didn't text you.
He just texted me and said tell him to shut up. He just did, like I got it right here.
Next question. Hey,
Yeah.
keeping the show on time. Next question.
He said he was more my friend than yours because I'm a Mike. He said we're both Mikes. You got to stick together.
Hey, Pasta. We did a. Pasta.
Anyway, who the fuck is Pasta? He's like he's about the beatbox.
Can I answer one of the questions?
Go ahead, bud.
Hey,
What's the next one?
Hey, do you mind if I say one more thing about that last question?
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I feel like I'm being compelled. I feel like something is telling me to tell people this, okay? From my heart, okay? Listen, one of the other reasons I stopped believing is because when you start doubting, at least in Christianity, I'm sure they use it in every other religion. When you start doubting, they tell you that's the evil, that's the devil or whatever. Mm-hmm. So you're supposed to lean further into your Bible to build your faith back up, right? And think of it as in the science community, okay? If you doubt a theory or you doubt something that's concrete, then you'll probably be afraid to challenge it. But no, that's the point. In science, they challenge what they think might be wrong instead of leaning back into what you already know. So just do the same thing in life, whether it's religion or anything else. If you think you might be wrong, try to prove yourself wrong. Don't lean on what you already know and continue.
You get awards in science when you prove someone else wrong.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. So I'm sorry. I just want to say that.
Sam, if you're going to get all fact-based and all proper and shit, there's another show for that, okay? You're going to come on.
I'm trying to be preachy. Sorry.
No, you're going to spit facts and shit on us, okay? God damn it, Sam.
All right.
Zeus, damn it. God. We're supposed to be talking to Skids over here. Skids, he's over here talking facts and science.
I know.
We're trying to be satirical. God damn it.
Exactly.
Sam.
You're trying to be funny, and he's all serious and heart-wrenching, and just trying to make people feel and stuff like that. Just lighten up, man.
You just debunked like 8 religions. You just God damn it.
I don't want him to think. I don't want him to feel. I want him to think.
You just put like 8 pebbles in 9 shoes. God damn it, Sam.
Yeah.
Anyway, is there any possibility there is a God, Jeff? I doubt it.
How much time do we have? Here's my answer. Yes.
There's a possibility, right?
Yeah, sure. Prove it, and I'll believe it. It's pretty simple. Prove it.
Can we get a shot of your
There's a possibility that there is a God, which I can't say that there isn't, because I would have to have all the knowledge available to be able to say definitively that there is no possibility of a God. There is as many gods as the human imagination can come up with. But until we find a way to prove the existence of said God, then I cannot believe it. And it's not me personally being a problem or deciding that I'm not going to believe it or having a hardened heart. I am not convinced that there is a God. And the sickest thing is that people think that if Hitler existed and he converted to Christianity on his deathbed, he would get into heaven just by asking for forgiveness. But me, nowhere near the evil of Hitler, just for not believing because I'm not convinced, I would go to hell. It makes absolutely no sense.
Can we get a shot of your knees? Can we see your knees on camera?
No.
Well, I tried. Yeah, Austin, I tried. Austin just texted me. I tried, Austin. Sorry, but he's not going to show it.
I'll send you pictures later.
Okay.
But the point is, there is a possibility that Zeus is God. There's a possibility that Allah is God. There's a possibility that Vishnu is God. There's a possibility that there's a God that I just don't know about. There's a possibility that there's a God and he doesn't give a shit about us. There's a possibility that there's a God and he's actively screwing us over. Like there's a huge amount of possibilities. I could be God. You could be God. Who knows? Maybe Carl down the street is God. Until you find a way to prove that, it doesn't work. And every time someone tries to prove their God, it's the same argument that I can use to prove any God. So find a way to prove your God in such a way that it doesn't prove some other God, and we're on to something.
There's a possibility, Jeff, there's a possibility right now that Adam Rich destroyed you in a debate about this subject.
So sad looking.
Even Skids is on board with this. Skids just told me. Skids just sent me a.
Which part of his argument was the most convincing when he used the calendar as evidence, or
he said that? I think he said funny atheists is what he said. Anyway,
them funny atheists. Let me button my shirt back up.
Anyway, Skids, were you ever spiritual?
That's a big question because you have to define what spiritual is.
I said the same thing.
I would say I am spiritual, just not in the way that you might define it. It kind of, I like to be in tune with myself. I like to be in tune with everybody around me. So it's a totally different definition than what a theist would say it is.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's play Socrates for a minute. Let's get into it. Let's get your definition of spiritual out on the Atheist Roundtable.
I would say my definition is trying to reach out to what is in the world that you don't necessarily have the ability to actually touch or sense. So I know that, say, perfect example, you could say, well, my wife loves me. Well, there's no way to prove that. There's no way I could convince anybody listening to this show that that's true. But I myself feel that it's true. And there are ways that I can kind of just describe my feeling of knowing that. And that to me is what spirituality is, not just in that situation, but just around, what I perceive as reality.
That's fair. I think that's a pretty good explanation. So have you ever been that?
I've felt like I've always had some kind of desire to reach out, but it's never been a religious connection. It's more of trying to connect to other people.
Gotcha. All right. Well, hey, that's awesome. Great explanation. What about my good buddy, Sammy Doolitz? What about you, man? Well, I guess you were religious at one time. So how do you correlate that to spirituality? Same deal? Is it the same thing for you?
I mean, it's a part of it. Yeah. I mean, I would say it's, I don't know, spiritual. Okay, so my mom is a very, I don't know. She's a spiritual warrior. You know what I'm saying? Spiritual warfare. You know what I talk about when I say that? The battle between angels and demons. Good and evil.
That's what she says she is? She tells folks that?
Yes.
It's your opinion or both?
No, that's both. My opinion and self-proclaimed.
She's okay with telling people that she's that. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So I grew up believing that there's a constant war in the spirit realm. So spiritual is being able to discern, to me, and the way I was raised, is be able to discern when those evil spirits are around and when God's moving and all that stuff, right? So to me, that's spiritual. But I don't know. Yeah, spiritual is a real vague, broad.
It's vague and broad. So it's kind of like
subjective.
Yeah, sure. I get you saying. So are you spiritual still or no?
To an extent. I mean, I don't know if it's spiritual. I don't know. I still believe I know that there's a lot of stuff that we don't yet understand, and that some of those, whether it be chemicals that are released in the air or magnetic fields around our bodies or stuff that's known, that could affect the way you feel without hearing or seeing or touching anything, based on where you are and who you're around, or maybe just I don't know.
Fair enough. Hey, nothing wrong with that, buddy. It's okay to not know.
Yeah.
Austin,
Yes, sir.
with the exception of still praying at breakfast, are you still spiritual?
No, zero.
I saw him up
Jeff?
at the church the other day picking up a microphone
Right.
or something.
That's what I'm saying.
He was
I
thinking,
went through a phase.
No.
I went through a phase in my deconversion where
Was this an Oz question or a Jeff question? I'm sorry.
shut up. I'm speaking.
You shut up. Anyway, no.
I went through a phase in my deconversion where I felt a oneness with the universe. And then what I mean by that is I faked it because I wanted to feel some sort of connection, and it isn't there. So then I became a realist
So you fake
and understood that it's not real and that I don't need those feelings anymore, and I can let them go and live my life.
So you faked being spiritual for a while.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't say I faked it that long, maybe like 2 weeks.
what? 2
Take it
weeks?
to yourself.
When was this? Was this some
2016?
20? Oh, that recently. So 4 years ago. Were you still a believer 4 years ago?
No, 2015 was about when I started to really no longer suppress my true feelings.
Doubt.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've
Stop
faked
lying to
before
myself.
too. Yeah, I've faked stuff at church events before. People act all drunk and talking in tongues and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Peer pressure.
Oz, do people that are still around you, like your friends and family who are primarily monotheistic, do they confuse the way you dress for being a preacher?
No.
Okay. So what do you like to do for entertainment outside of polka dancing?
I really enjoy long walks along beaches of polluted lakes and rivers.
And deep dives.
And then God, why did he say that? I
Samuel
enjoy
can
deep
talk.
dives.
Samuel's like
Deep dives. Enjoy
Samuel.
deep dives and dives that are even deeper.
Why would you need anything other than polka dancing?
Great question. That's a great question. That is a
It
Fill your life with
did
that,
not-
by the way.
That took me way back.
Trent,
That's
Trent,
way back.
I love Trent. I love that question. The polka just didn't dive deep enough. Yeah.
My grandparents
We'll have to
are
work on that.
Czechoslovakian, and they only played polka.
most of Jeff's family actually traveled the eastern part of Canada during the 1800s, making money from a hybrid of polka dancing and tongue speaking. And
mine work. We did minor. We were minors.
and they left
Traveling minors?
they left all that for Hinduism and came down to the eastern part of the U.S. in 1925, Jeff?
1910 to 1914.
1940. Yeah. Beautiful looking group of people, though. Have you now? Listen, I've got to go, guys, because there's a movie on TV called The Hills Have Eyes. Have you guys seen that?
Which one? The old one or the new one?
The one that was loosely based on Jeff's. Yeah. Anyway, so nobody's still spiritual. Nobody's still spiritual in this group. Nobody is. So this is going to be a great question. Then this is going to be a great question for guess who? Can we guess who?
You.
No, not me. You, Oz.
Oh.
Is it that you don't believe, or is it just not for you?
Oh God. I love that question. It's both, because if I did believe, then that would mean it's for me. And because I lack a belief, it means it's not for me.
Anyone else want to have a stab at that? Skidsy?
I don't think it's a choice. I don't choose to believe in anything. So it's not like I can say it's not for me, so I choose not to believe it. That's not how belief works. So no, it's just I don't believe. Sorry.
Samuel.
No, I mean he hit it right on the head. I mean, how do you choose to believe something? I mean, that's it. I mean,
I don't want to ask Jeff. I just wanted to pan in on him real quick. It's a great shot. But that wraps up the questions, gentlemen. Thank you for your time. And I hear Austin's train is coming to take
Hey,
you back.
you know what that sound means, guys? It's super chat round.
Yes. It is
That means
if you have
questions,
owner of Oz.
if
You get
have
partial
questions,
ownership of Oz. Call in now. Put in your bets.
if you have questions, put them in the Q&A now for Skids the Clown, Pasta Mike, Samuel Doolittle, Wannabe Oz, or Oz. And just let us know who you want the question directed towards. So we'll give you a couple minutes. But real quick, before we do that, Trent, thanks for hanging out with TART tonight, the Atheist Roundtable. We love to have fun, and I know you acknowledged that even beforehand, that even with our different segment breaks and all that, we'll have the serious conversations, but at the same time we love to have fun and everything. But is there anything that you want to share? And after the Q&A, we'll plug your Facebook, your Twitter, and YouTube and all that. Anything you want to say before we go into Q&A?
No, I think I got everything taken care of. I just felt like I wasn't going to fit in because I don't have any pictures of me kind of going like this. So I do apologize. Next time I know I got to have that beard pulling, kind of staring off into space look. So
yeah,
I'll work on that.
So Trent, now I know you'll fit in because you just want to mock Oz. So now I get it.
In fact, I didn't even put him up to that, but that was brilliant.
That was awesome. and Jeff, it wasn't for his Weasley face, he may be able to pull it off. But
Oz, hold on, Oz, that was below the belt. You take that back.
What?
Don't make fun of Jeff's Weasley face on air.
You say the same thing. Don't sass me. Sit down.
How dare you?
Sit down. Don't be a hall monitor. Don't be a hall monitor.
How dare you make fun of Jeff's Weasley face on air?
Look at that beard, if you can call it that.
Jeff has the most Weasliest troll face you'll ever come across. They don't make Weasley troll faces like this.
They broke the mold.
But guys, I do have a little treat for you guys. Do you guys like treats? Who likes treats?
I like treats.
Who likes treats?
Want a treat?
Well, hello, everybody. I just arrived home from the Murder and Mayhem Ball. I made a killing. Where's everybody? Hey, Sid's the Clown.
That's Skids.
That's Skids.
There's a
I'm
there.
sorry.
Do you have blood in your eye? Do you have blood in your eyes, Jeff?
Yeah, Sid's is a completely different clown.
We're gonna call you Jeff from now on.
Well, as you can tell, I really did my homework. Really, really, truly did.
This is getting up.
Hey, Sids. Hey, Sids. Is he saying that you have the coronavirus or something?
I think that's what he's implying right now.
Yeah.
You had a question.
Hey, Mrs. Oz, by the way, I know that you were very excited to see some nudity tonight, but hopefully the suit will.
Oh, whatever was said just got lost in the blur.
I was saying hopefully the suit will suffice. And there's no blood on it either, which is really good after coming from the Murder and Mayhem Ball.
Hey,
Pretty rare.
Tom Jump has a suit just like that.
No, he doesn't.
I've seen him in it. No, I've seen it. Oh, there it goes. Face of a killer, everybody. Stone cold killer, right there.
Click, click, bang, 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 bang.
Well, I just figured I'd pop in and say hello and all that kind of stuff. Do we have any questions or anything?
Super chat questions, Steve. The yellow and bright colored questions.
Let's see.
And for those that haven't, if you have a question, super chat that shit right now. Right now. Do it.
Do it.
Well,
Click it. Click
I've
it.
got one right here. After deconverting, you still hold that free will is a thing? Determinism?
Who's that to?
Well, who's deconverted, Oz? You're the ones that held up the books there, buddy.
Well, I mean, Jeff left the molestation church.
There's two games. There's two games going on right now, right? There's a group of people taking shots every time Austin says super chat, and every time you guys hold up Seth Andrews' book.
Free will is not a thing. Free will is
blind Oz.
Right. So real talk, no pretend. If you have questions, ask them now. For Skids or Samuel or any of us, ask your questions. Let's do it. If not, Steve just showed up in his suit that he took off the dead body for no reason.
Wouldn't you think that a dead body suit would have blood on it?
You have blood on your tie.
Shh.
Why does he look like Tommy Boy right now?
It's Halloween, guys. Hey, are we gonna
question.
do? Hey, are we gonna do? Can we talk about this right now? Can we do a Halloween special?
If that, what's that
I
involve?
thought y'all were doing something.
Does that
Murder
involve?
Shed Steve,
We can sit
candy,
around-
trick or treat. We can do trick or treating with different guests coming into the show to get candy, and since we can do a virtual Halloween trick or treat.
Can we read
involved
Exodus 21 in like Hebrew or something?
Oh my God, that would be horrifying.
Yeah, we can read all the bad shit in the Bible, like all the scary stuff about how to spoil children and things.
Yeah.
Well,
and bears and stuff mauling.
Well, we have a guest for that.
boys.
We do have a guest for that night, but it's Grumps. So I'm sure Grumps would be 100% into.
We have to do costumes, guys.
Hey,
we
wouldn't it be,
we
And
can
right
go.
now, super chat.
Hey, wouldn't it
Someone
be
drops $20 in super chat. Oz has to dress up, whatever they say.
wouldn't it be cool if somebody? Hey, wouldn't it be cool if somebody just made a flyer like for the Halloween party or something?
Good shit, Boston.
Halloween
that?
special.
So
Possible.
it's not a super chat, but I do have a question for me from Miss Oz, if we want to take that.
Sure.
I love your enthusiasm. Steve, do you disinfect your pipe each time you throw it on the murder shed floor? And the answer to that question is, I have never even thought to do that. I like the flavor.
I like that she said the murder shed floor. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
But
Thought had never crossed my mind.
So here's my follow-up question, because we actually have somebody with us tonight that has at least a couple ounces of intelligence, more than we do. Trent, if you had a murder shed, if you had a pipe and you threw it on the floor, would you at least disinfect it every time you threw it on the floor?
Okay, first of all, who said I don't have a murder shed?
Oh,
But
hold on.
the answer to that is definitely yes, because ew, that's gross. I mean, if you've seen,
He's just building up his immune system.
you can build it up, but why go through all the effort? Years and years of building up.
I think
that
drinking Clorox might be a bigger issue if you pick
Ooh.
Clorox into that pipe.
Yep.
I can
Lots
see
of
where that,
Clorox, injecting hand sanitizer, and it's an
Murder shed. Could you tell me what is your process?
immurity.
What is your process when it comes to cleaning your pipe?
I put it in my mouth, lick it
Uh-huh.
with my tongue, and it's clean and ready to go.
So you put your pipe in your mouth
Mhm.
and it's clean.
Mhm.
Okay.
Much
long
like I
have you
do
had that pipe?
with toes. How long
How
have I
big is
had
that pipe?
Yeah.
How big is your pipe, Mirror Shed Steve?
So I have a question. Who has the biggest epistemology? Now, I just got to throw out, I'm pretty sure Ben G.
He's not even here.
But
That's
he
how
has
much of
the
an
biggest
epistemologist he is.
I know, it's so
How do you-
huge.
Oz, how do you know he's not here?
Huh?
How do you know he's not here?
Jeff, stop.
Can you demonstrate, Oz, that Ben is not here?
What
Yes,
could I
we
show
can all
you
look
that
at the
would
screen.
reduce
We can all look at
your...
the screen. We know he's not here. We know he's not here. Stop with the bullshit.
What percentage would you say you believe he's not here?
How confident are you?
100%.
So could we move you to a 99? What evidence could I
No.
show you?
No, none.
So I'm sorry, there was a question for me that I absolutely ignored. But I am willing to field that question. Oh, it's not up on here. It was from you guys.
What?
I can't remember what it was. I'm just saying, if you guys remember, then I'm willing
this
to
is-
answer.
Why the suit?
Yes. I came back from the Murder and Mayhem ball. I just got home, actually. So I haven't even been able to empty my pockets of all of my little personal protection tools, because you never know.
I wish I could see what you were doing, but I guess we'll never know.
Well,
Oh, okay.
Whoops.
There's a screwdriver. I have
You
one
got
of
to do
those.
what you got to do sometimes.
Do you clean your tools after a night of tool working?
Huh? What are tools?
Like things and stuff
Huh?
that you
Weapons.
use
He's
for
talking about
your
weapons.
job. Yeah. No, the tools you use for your jobs, do those get cleaned afterwards?
Oh, it depends on the tool.
What is going on tonight?
I'm going to be honest with you guys.
It's a Halloween special.
Well, there was an open bar at the ball, at the Murder and Mayhem ball. So
And then you drove home.
actually, my murderous wife drove me home. She's doing fine.
I hope so.
Why do I believe that Steve actually had Bloody Marys tonight? There was actually blood with the vodka.
Oz, this is ridiculous. You know that Bloody Marys are for the morning.
Yeah,
Who the
get,
hell drinks a Bloody Mary at a ball at night?
yeah, get your shit together, Oz.
Yeah.
Damn, it was whiskey and champagne, you slob.
Yeah, you filthy slob. Look at you.
God. Bloodies in the evening.
Yeah,
Give me a break.
go rinse your mouth out with some.
Yeah, go reach your mouth out with some mimosas.
Yeah, it's filthy,
Ridiculous.
filthy animal. Look at him. He's a
Oh.
beast.
Look at him.
No,
He's sweating out of his face.
I drank with Jeff while in Georgia, and he's no one to talk about mimosas. Let's just say that.
What's wrong with a mimosa?
Exactly.
I think I prefer a blind and mute Oz.
Hey, Skid, let's swing it back around and put some more emphasis on how filthy this man is. Terrible.
So, my clown character is like what you'd call a hobo clown. So it's like a bum character.
He's a bit of a tramp.
He's a bit of a tramp, yes. And, I would definitely say he's giving me a run for the money. I'm taking notes here on how to improve my look based off of how dirty he is.
Yeah, like let's
You
transition.
can help him be a better clown.
Let's
Yeah,
transition.
exactly.
Let's transition off of satire and really attempt to hurt his feelings. Let's go deep. Like he looks like an Amish homeless person's father. like if you smell the back of his neck, you probably would pass out. It's probably awful. He probably has those. What are those keloids? Has he got keloids on the back of his neck the size of a baseball mitt? Turn around, Oz.
Oz looks like an Amish butcher that also sells used cars.
Hey, Skids. I think if you really wanted to improve, what you could do is just without exaggerating it as much as Oz does, get yourself a nice little neck beard. Yeah. And the bags under the eyes, but don't exaggerate them quite as much.
Definitely go for that look.
Like make your real beard, like your proper man beard, like trim it intentionally to look like a stupid beard.
So it looks like I kind of dipped my neck into chocolate.
Yeah.
Make sure there's no hair above your jawline whatsoever.
Yeah. Make your proper you got clearly you have Viking blood. So take your proper masculine, the beard that all the women love, and make it go out of your way to make it look like you can't grow proper hair on your face. And somebody put child's glue on your chin and then blue pubes on your face. You know what I mean?
Gentlemen, I have a question from Jawl's Balls. And he's wondering if he heard someone's cat in the background. And the answer is no. That was Oz's hysteria happening before your eyes.
All right, buddy? Jesus.
And here's a demonstration of that right now.
It's a real cat. That was actually a real cat. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Fuck you guys.
Skids. Hey, so one more thing. If you see someone's thrown a couch out that looks like it's from the 60s or 70s, just rip it up and make a shirt out of it. And that'll look really good as well.
I thought my grandmother had that exact print on her couch. That was, back in the 70s, I didn't know they made
that one's not that bad. I like that one.
It's vintage, guys. It's vintage.
That's cool, but he bought my son's headset from 1999, I think, that he's still on the stream with. So that's cool. That's cool.
So what? I can't hear you. Yeah. Hold on.
You can't hear.
You can't hear.
Turn it up.
Turn it up.
There we go. Okay.
You should be able to hear his thoughts with those things.
There's a short. There's a short in the line.
Murder Shed looks like he's listening to a book on tape to keep himself mentally sane.
Leviticus 25,
the 44, Bible, of course.
45, and 46.
Oh, please read. This is poetry.
Yes.
Yes. Your male and female slaves are to come from nations around you. From them you may buy slaves. You may also buy some of the temporary residents living among you and members of their clans born in your country, and they will become your property. You can bequeath them to your children as inherited property and make them slaves for life. But you must not rule. Yes, bequeath. But you must not, indeed. But you must not rule over your fellow Israelites ruthlessly. Amen. Inspiration.
I think Sam.
Amen. Word of God. The word of God.
Just boot the camera.
It's the word of God.
Yeah.
Praise be to God.
What just happened?
Reading the book.
Murder Shed Steve.
I always think, look, whenever I tell somebody I'm an atheist, they always tell me to read the Bible. So we're just doing that on the show. We want to read the Bible to help other atheists, maybe find Christianity through reading the Bible.
Exactly.
We just proved what the Bible and religion does to people. We were having a blast. We had people in tears laughing, and all of a sudden some joker in a suit shows up wanting to preach the gospel.
It makes it even better.
Yeah.
And we're all like, oh, shit.
Have you heard the word of your Lord and Savior?
Hey, not for nothing. I want to bequeath the shit out of Oz. What is that?
The flying spaghetti monster.
Huh?
Ramen.
Well, does anyone want to take us out? Who wants to take us out? And by the way, Skids, you the man.
Thank you, thank you. I've always thought that. I'm glad I have an audience that can agree for once.
I can't speak for any of these real life clowns that we have, but on behalf of the lifelong atheist, cool community that never believed in dogma, I promise you that I think you're cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And I do want to go on record and say that I never actually believed in ghosts or zombies or talking animals. I never adhered to that. Yeah, I was never a Catholic, for example.
I see zombies all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of them are reading the Bible right now.
I mean, who prays? Who in the world? So if anyone on the panel has ever prayed before, we're taking away your atheist card soon. Austin, if you have any family members who are still in religion, you lose points. Sorry, these are the new rules to TART.
How many certificates? How many certificates do we need to be on TART?
You need at least. Well, actually, Austin was telling me about the one he has in the back there. Let me see. This one on the left, he was saying that he was sitting on his couch, doing nothing, procrastinating. I think he said he was doing a guy. Some dude comes on the screen on the TV with a hat on sideways, and he was like speaking to him. He's like, "Yo, get up off the couch. What are you doing? You got to get up. Get up. Stop procrastinating. Come to Everest College. Get up right now. You could be class of March next year. I'm gonna get you associates in economic lawnmower degrees." And he's like, "Oh shit, dude, I'm gonna get up right now." He got up, he put on his shit, he went to McDonald's on the way. He's like, "Dude, I'm gonna get a degree." And next thing you know, he's got his certificate right there. It's in air conditioning, I think. Is it in air conditioning?
Yeah, it's in AC repair. He's in AC repair.
Yeah. On biblical studies.
Yeah. Biblical.
NIV.
It's AC repair through prayer.
Through NIV. It's the NIV. It's not in the KJV.
Yeah, it's definitely NIV.
Yeah. NIV.
Hey,
yeah.
I got a couple more questions to wrap up Q&A, if that's even what we're kind of doing-ish.
Yeah, we're wrapping.
But one of which was posed originally by P and also Atheist Chico. And I'm going to try and bring it up here real quick. But essentially the question was, is there a warranty on slaves? There we go. Yeah, what's the warranty on a slave? So I haven't heard from God yet about this, but I'm sure that we can get a hold of him and we'll get back to you as soon as we get the answer from God.
Yeah.
And
Holla at your God.
holla at your boy Jesus about that one. And then a final question. What is the strangest sound you can make? And I think we should go right around.
That's a great question.
We should just go right down.
And this is what happens when you allow people to pay money to put stuff on the screen.
Jeff. No, Jeff. That is. You know what, Jeff? I like you a lot, but how dare you? That's the best question I've seen all night. Number one. Number two, look at the profile picture of the guy. That is fantastic. That's second of all. Third of all, it's like a hybrid between almost a good beard and some of what Oz does.
He reminds me of my buddy Wally. And actually, Jaws Balls knows who I'm talking about.
This guy right here, Atheist Chico, that's the best question I've seen all night. And it's $10.
Cool, then you can start. Then you can start.
I was going to say, we better make Pasta start with this one before he just disappears.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
go ahead, Pasta. Everyone be quiet.
You don't get to disappear tonight.
I'm going to disappear. So, okay, final question. What's the strangest sound that I can make? Okay. You ready, guys? Amen.
Oh, man. You just took everybody's stuff.
Yeah. It's
Only
hard
time I've
act to
ever
follow now.
Only time I've ever said it. And it's probably the only time I've ever going to say it. So let's go with the man of the night. We'll go next. Skids. Strangest sound that you can make.
Oz? Is that too obvious?
Saying the word
obvious. I feel that's obvious.
Strangest sound. Strangest sound. Let's see. You're okay. I'll set the scene. I'll set the scene, Skids. Right. You're in your clown getup. You're in your garb. You're leaving an event. You're leaving one of those. Yeah, you're leaving a thing. And the movie The Joker just gave out. and you didn't know. You kind of were. You had no clue. It was a total coincidence. And a group of kids come running up to you, and they start asking you to perform, and then one of them kicks you in the nuts. Go, take it from there. Improvise. Great. See, we're on to something. Who we got next? Jeff. Where did the question go?
Hey, Pasta.
Yeah. Pasta.
Will you put me on real quick? Look at that.
Oh, hey.
My beautiful daughter. She wanted to say hi. Say
What's
hi.
up, young lady?
What's up, Addie? I love you.
Well, that certainly wasn't the strangest sound that you can make. But go ahead.
No, it wasn't. But she was here. She wanted to say hi.
You want me to set the scene for you as well, like I did with Skids?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, so you just left a debate where Pastor John destroyed you on the resurrection of Jesus, right? And you're walking, you mind your own business. Your mom and your dad and your stepdad and your brother all run into you at the same time, and they'd all watch the debate. They're like, "Yeah, we saw the debate. You know, Austin, why don't you just come back and join the clan? You know, come back over to Christianity." And you're like, "You know what? Just because I lost this debate doesn't prove anything." And then your brother kicks you in the nuts. Go.
Fuck you.
Okay, that sucked. That's terrible. All right, so Atheist Chico. That was terrible. That was absolutely terrible. So far, Skids has got it. Atheist Chico says, "Sam, what's the strangest sound you can make?" And he texts me the other part, other than your rapping. So go.
I thought you were gonna tell me I got kicked in the balls, and then all right, let's see. I don't know.
Oh,
that's pretty
gross.
Strange, right? Yeah, that's pretty strange.
Yeah, gross. That's gross. Chico might have liked
That one turned me.
Chico might have liked that one. Go ahead, bud.
That turned me right off.
Yeah.
What? I don't get a scene set. I just have to make a noise.
All right, Jeff. So you're moonwalking on the Quran, and your mom
kicks you in the balls.
Yeah, your mom walks in. No, and all those ants that talk from the Quran, they crawl up your leg somehow, and they're not just regular ants; they're fire ants. And the horse from the never-ending story that drowned in this quicksand is actually the horse that Muhammad flew to the moon on, and it flies out of the quicksand with that thing from the never-ending story, that beast-looking thing, and it flies up the leg of your pants and kicks you in the nuts. Go. Awesome. Let's go.
You had the opportunity to say Atreyu. You could have been Atreyu. All right, sorry.
Yeah.
Now,
Let's go.
Jeff, let me show you how a professional does it. I have a sound for you guys that you will never, ever hear again.
Until I watch a replay of the show.
Until you watch a replay of this show only. I was wrong. Coronavirus was not a hoax. Science is real, okay? People say. That's something you'll never hear again.
No.
Boy, that was original.
Thank you very much, Oz.
That's phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Let's just hold this shot for the rest of the night. And we're all just going to leave quietly.
Everybody walk away from your mics. Walk away from your mics.